Hey, this is Jared, and you are watching Backroad Exploration, and today I'm going to talk about the 5 things that I absolutely hate about my Jeep Wrangler JK. So if you've been watching my channel for very long, you know that I picked up a Jeep Rubicon JK 2012 about 2 years ago. And I've had a lot of people jump in the comments and talk to me about how my videos have inspired them to pick up a rig of their own, often telling me that they've even picked up a Jeep. And first of all, that is absolutely awesome. But today I feel like I need to talk about, there are a few things that I really hate about it, and I think that I need to be fair. So I'm going to talk about the 5 things that I hate, and then I'm going to do a follow-up video about some of the things that I absolutely love about it. So let's get started. The first thing that I hate about the JK is that the roof leaks, and this is not an uncommon problem. If you spend a couple of minutes on a forum, you're going to find case after case after case of people complaining that after their Jeep's been outside in the rain or getting snow on it, that they're finding that their floor mats in both the front and the back seats are getting wet. And it's so stinking annoying. Essentially what's happening is water is seeping in where the Freedom Top is. So if you don't know what a Freedom Top is, on the hard tops, rather than taking the whole hard top off, which you can do, but it's a little bit heavy and time consuming, over the driver and the passenger, you have a little Freedom panel that can come out. And when you take that panel out, it gives you the feeling as if your top was off without actually doing all of that work. Super easy to take it off. There's just a couple of clips inside that you clip and it unhooks and you pop it out. I've done it a ton. I absolutely love it. One of the things that I missed the most about having a soft top was just how easy it was to take off the top and cruise around with the top off. And this is kind of a nice in-between on that. So it doesn't give you the full experience, but it gives you some of it. And basically what's happening is water is seeping in. And if you spend even a couple of minutes on a forum, you're going to find case after case of people who've tried just about everything. I've tried just about everything. Readjusting the top to make sure that it fits. Checking to make sure there's not dirt and grime in there that's allowing water to seep through. Making sure that the rubber seal is not damaged or anything like that. None of those things have helped. And while some things help a little bit, none of them has actually solved the problem. This seems like such a silly thing. I don't know what exactly the issue is. Some people have had success if they buy an extra strip of basically like weather stripping, glue it onto the existing stripping, and then put a ton of pressure to seal it up. That can stop it. That's basically the next thing for me to try. But it's absolutely annoying that if I leave my Jeep out in the rain, I know that I'm going to come and my floors are going to be a little bit damp. I'm going to have to vacuum it up. I'm going to have to let it air out. Luckily, I live in a dry climate. But if you live somewhere humid, you may never get it dry. I don't know. So that's the first thing I absolutely hate. The second thing that I really dislike about my Jeep is it is just underpowered. So admittedly, this is a gearing issue. I'm running 35-inch tires, and I have the 6-speed manual transmission. And when you're on hills, especially when I'm up in the mountains, I am having to give it a lot of clutch to get it going, or I'm going to have to put it in 4 low, which is just obnoxious to have to do. And so there are fixes to this. Obviously, I can redo my gears, which is something that I want to do. But Jeep knows that guys are going to be putting 35s on all the time. They've addressed this with the JL in a lot of ways by basically putting in the 8-speed transmission, which helps on the low end and on the high end of the gearing. But if you're going to pick up one of these and you're going to put 35s on, eventually you are going to have to upgrade your gearing, especially if you're running the manual transmission. You're having to feather the clutch way too much. It's super annoying. The third thing that I hate about my JK is that the factory headlights suck. When you're driving at night, especially when I'm up in the mountains or coming through canyon passes and things, your view is terrible. I'm constantly wanting to turn on my brights, and it is not uncommon for people, for one of the first things that they do is to go in and update the headlights. And to me, this just seems like something so easy that Jeep could have done. I've heard that the lights on the JL are a lot better, but if you are going to be picking up a JK, you should really be planning to budget in new headlights. I've been being kind of cheap and wanting to spend money on other stuff, and I haven't done it yet, and every time I drive at night, I say I'm picking them up. And so it's definitely going to happen, and it's something that I don't really want to spend my money on. I'd rather be saving that money towards other, accessories or parts that I think are a lot more fun than just replacing my factory headlights. So the fourth thing that I absolutely hate, and this is one of those things that it's kind of good and bad, is that, man, it gets so dusty. So I've had other rigs that I take off-road, and I've had another Jeep in the past as well, and man, these things, they just get so dusty inside. And what I mean, why it's kind of good is part of the reason that you're getting dust in there is you do have a bunch of removable stuff. So you can take off your doors, you can fold down your windshield, you can take off the roof, and because it has all that modularity, dust just seems to seep in. And if you spend a day out on the trail and you're out with a couple other rigs and it is dusty, you're gonna come back and you can literally wipe the dust off of the dash. It's just gross. I don't mind the outside getting super gross. I'm always packing mud and dirt on my feet onto the mats, but man, just having to have all that dust that builds up on the seats and on the dash, it's obnoxious. And I really wish that they had just done a little bit better job in sealing in all of the sides so that you have a better just seal overall and you're not getting as much dust inside the cab. So the fifth thing that I hate about my Jeep, I really dislike the seats. I don't find them comfortable at all. The back, the headrest, it kind of has like this weird tilting forward thing, so you almost have to have the seat back a little bit so that you can actually put your head back into the headrest, otherwise you feel like it's, you know, smashing your head forward. They're really just not that comfortable. So about these seats, I just don't love them. I think part of it is, I don't know, like I feel like I'm always putting a lot of pressure on my arm that's on the armrest. Maybe I'm just like a little too low in the seat or something, I don't know. But they're just not that comfortable. You know, I guess to Jeep's credit, I had a TJ before, and I do think that the JK seats are more comfortable than the TJ seats, but they're just not that comfortable, and that just seems like something that you could put a little extra cushion in that would make it a lot better, and it's just one of those things that's really frustrating. I love the Jeep, but there are things that you're going to need to know when you're going into picking one up that you're just going to have to be a little bit prepared for, especially if you've never owned one before. Just in the mode of transparency, I talk a lot about the things that I love about my Jeep in my channel. I'm going to be doing a follow-up video highlighting a bunch of stuff that I absolutely love about the Jeep, but I wanted to showcase some of those things that I don't like, especially right now as the JK is getting really affordable. There's a lot of people who are going out there picking them up and want to turn them into their nice off-road overlanding rig, and these are just a couple of things to be aware of that you may want to plan into your budget. Lastly, if you know how to fix the top on one of these Jeeps that makes it so that they do not leak, please let me know in the comments. I will be forever grateful. If you have other things about your Jeep that you really dislike, please let me know. Jump in those comments, share them, and stay tuned and subscribe because I'm going to be sharing the things that I absolutely love about my Jeep coming up next.